What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the After Run Bourbon Club, brought to you by Castle on the Hill Productions. Today at the Bourbon Table, I have another incredible athlete who is incredibly talented and multifaceted. He started running in high school and ran all 4 years of his track and cross-country seasons there before going on to the University of Boston, where he specialized in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. He also went to Sydney, Australia, and trained there at the University of Sydney Athletics Club, training with some world-class talent. Running has also been part of his career. He has been the director of track and field operations at the Naval Academy, and most recently a running coach at American University here in Washington, D.C. He's also a pacer at Northeast Track Club, and he designed this year's Better Your Mile and Marine Corps Marathon training programs. And if that's not enough, he has just published a book that might help you fall in love with running. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Bourbon Table, Zach Prescott.
Sweet. What's going on?
What's going on, Zach? How you doing?
What's up? How are you? That was
Good,
a lovely
man.
intro. Thank you.
I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. This is cool.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, I've had a very busy 3 weeks. I've come off some travel. I just got married. I'm changing jobs. Rob coming out with this book, which I'm really excited about. So it's been
absolutely. We're gonna get into all of that for sure.
3 weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah. This has been a weird weekend in DC. Obviously, the last couple of days because we've had the smoke, which has been crazy. Have you been able to do any kind of workouts during this weird time?
Yeah, I kept it a little bit on the treadmill for the last couple of days. I'm coming back from like a little bit of a stomach bug, so I'm luckily already kind of incapacitated, so I didn't feel like I needed to go out and incapacitate myself further with bad weather. Bad AQI.
Yes, the AQI was crazy. Like the fact that it was over 200 yesterday, and still this morning it was like 170, which was wild.
It's actually crazy. When you mentioned like me living in Sydney for a little while, when I lived there were these really, really bad bushfires for a couple months pre-COVID.
Yeah,
and so there's I have a bunch of old photos of me like in the N95 masks, like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Just because we were like, literally to get to work you had to wear them because it was in like the 400, 500s from that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
wow.
Not
I
good.
Can't even imagine.
It was brutal.
Yeah. No, well, thankfully, it is now raining, and it's going to clear out some of that smoke, and we can get back to life as normal.
Yeah, for sure.
As normal as we can be here in DC.
For sure. DC normal.
Exactly, DC normal. Okay, so obviously we're going to talk some bourbon today and some running, but bourbon, what is your experience with it?
Not much. No, not much. I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Okay.
I am not a connoisseur by any means.
Sure.
I bartended for a little while. Like that was kind of like my post-college job for a bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can fake my way through describing things enough for some tips.
Okay.
But I have no real background.
Okay, well, good. Well, that's actually better, honestly. I feel like when people come here with like no background in bourbon, they walk away here with a lot more knowledge and experience. And,
cool.
I think it's a good way to introduce yourself into the world of bourbon for sure.
Sick. Yeah. I'm stoked.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, we're going to get started. We're starting on the inside of the table. And this first bourbon is Buffalo Trace.
Amazing.
It is a 90 proof bourbon.
Cool.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yep. The flavor profile for this is vanilla, mint, brown sugar, spice, oak, leather, toffee, and candied fruit.
It's very nice.
Yeah, right? I like this one because I feel like it's a good intro bourbon.
Okay.
We're starting at a low proof. 90 is pretty low for bourbon.
Crazy.
And it's not too harsh on the palate, right? Cool. You get a little bit of that minty like aftertaste.
Yeah, like the mint's there.
Yeah. But then you still get some of those like oak and leather as well, which is nice.
Sick.
Okay. So while you continue sipping on that, I'm going to ask you your first question.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to get into all the running, right? That's going to come later.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into some of the stuff that you already kind of like talked about, which is some life updates. First, newly married, right?
Yep.
So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How is married life treating you?
Good. I'm really good. It's so different. No, my partner and I have been together for like 10 years now. So we've been together for a really long time. We started dating when I was 20 and she was also 20.
Wow.
So yeah, we're coming up on 10 years. So we kind of described our wedding as like an eclectic dinner party.
Nice.
You know, we've been together for so long. It was like a cool celebration of just getting a bunch of people together from our lives and doing that. I think we're not the most like, I don't like how to say it. Like we're like kind of an odd couple. We're not, I think, the most classic couple. Like we've been living together for 6 years now, and you know, our families feel so tied at this point that it's like it felt like more of a celebration of that than it did this like, all right, we're really tying the knot. We're really changing the way we operate. So it was really cool.
It's like a big 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Although it was funny. Some of her family were like, "You have to start counting now. You can't say this is your 10-year anniversary." We're like, "Okay,
all right. The counter starts over."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny. You guys got married in Boston. Are you both from Boston?
I'm from Boston. We met in Boston, but she's
okay.
not. She's from Wisconsin originally.
Oh, okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so you also had an exciting career change, right? So no longer coach at American University.
No.
Now you are the ASICS Tech rep for the D.C. Eastern Seaboard area, correct? Yeah. Again, congrats on that. That's also amazing. What are you looking forward to in this new role for yourself?
Yeah, no, I mean, I initially kind of started looking into it just because of just how well the running industry is doing right now, and the NCAA is a challenging place to be right now. And I loved coaching so much, and being able to interact with athletes and be a part of the, you know, at the highest level, which was really cool, and be able to do that. But I think this opportunity kind of presented itself as a way to continue to work with runners, to continue to be a part of the community, and to feel like I'm starting to be a part of something that's a little bit like, that's frankly doing really well. Like we're in this like great running boom. Like they say, we're in the largest running boom since the 70s.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think being able to be a part of a brand that I am excited about, and I agree with their mantras and their sound body, sound mind, and the way that they, you know, I have a background in sports psychology. So like, and I'm sure we'll get into that at some point, but you know, it feels really aligned. It feels really exciting. And then, you know, it just is a cool change of pace, I think, from what I was doing.
No, that's really awesome.
Yeah,
that's really awesome.
cool.
I'm excited for you to take on this role because so the role previously held by a friend of ours, Chris Cash. Did he provide any tips or insights on how this role it was for him and how you can like approach it?
One of the things he said that I think really resonated with me and got me excited about it was he was like, you can really make it what you want it to be.
Sure.
And I liked that because I think he did that really successfully. I think that he really took a community. I think DC has a really interesting running community, right? Like Boston is so established. It's so like Boston Marathon. It's around this idea. I think DC's is still figuring itself out a little bit.
Agreed.
And it's incredibly diverse and it's incredibly like unique and I think multifaceted in a way that some running cities aren't. And so I think he really ran with what worked for him, and I'm excited that he was like, "You're going to do the exact same for you," and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So I think in that kind of community engagement piece, it'll be cool to interact with a community that's still kind of like learning its identity a little bit.
It's very interesting because like, I mean, DC has some of the most dense running groups per capita in the city, right? There's so many groups in this area, and the race is also like, I think the one that really stands out is the Cherry Blossom. That one's been for so long.
Right.
But we don't really have like a city identity for when it comes to running.
No,
like,
I totally agree.
Cherry Blossom is so seasonal.
Right.
Right. It doesn't really feel like Boston, even though Boston is still a season, you know, it's very like defined throughout the whole year.
Totally.
Whereas the Cherry Blossom is defined around the blooming of the trees, and that is a very short span as it is anyway. So it'd be interesting like to see that come together. Yeah,
and it has some of that, like, I think in that is like the nature of DC that I've been here for 5 or 6 years, so I'm no expert, but like we have this transient nature of the place, so it kind of think it has some of that too, where it's like people can kind of come in and take it and make it what they want to be. But then there is also this like big group that I think people forget about the city of like people who have been here and will be here for a long time, and like I think there's that element of it too that Chris did a really good job engaging with. It'll be cool.
People say there's, you know, you can't meet anybody who's native to DC, and that's not true. Like,
not
there's
true.
So many people who are born and raised here and live live their whole lives here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you just got to get outside those touristy areas.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so for ASICs, that's all I run in right now, and I'm really looking forward to putting on the Nova Blast 6. I've not gotten them yet. What are you looking forward to when it comes to ASICs as the company?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it's funny. I'm like now becoming this tech rep position. I've never been the most like shoehead guy on the face of the planet, and so like I'll have to develop that side of myself. I think the things I get really excited about are, again, kind of coming back to what I was saying already, it's just like ways brands decide to interact with the community. And like the way I got introduced to ASICs was really through NETC, and that's how we met.
Right.
And like I think they do a very good job of fostering communities where they are. And I'm really, really excited about that part of it, about being like, hey, we don't need to drive anyone towards the way we want the sport to go. We're going to meet you where you think the sport is at and kind of just like help you run with that vision.
For sure.
And I think they do that really, really well. So any way I can help facilitate that, I'm excited for. Obviously, I will also learn the names of all the shoes and all the tech. But then there's that piece of it too of like, they're also not coming in and giving people crap. Like it's really good quality. It's like really high level tech. And so it's like, you can say all this like kind of foundational community stuff that you want, but at the end of the day, if you're giving people crappy running shoes, it's like, well, then they can't really do the thing. But their new, I mean, their Super Blast Nova Blast line is unbelievable.
It's incredible.
It's been fun, running with them in NETC and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I love them. That's all I train in. The Nova Blast specifically, that's my favorite line, and they keep improving upon it. So different uppers, the foam is kind of the same, but like just varying on like how much or whatever bounciness. It's just, I love it. It's great. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
All right, man. So what'd you think of the first bourbon?
It was good. I was like, drinkable.
Right, exactly.
Drinkable. It was approachable. It was good.
Yep.
I feel like it's like, I feel like I'm a big Hot Ones fan.
Okay.
And I'm like ready. It's like you approach it nicely. I know you're not going to hurt me later, which I really like. You know, it's going to get more complex as opposed to painful.
Sure.
But this was the level 1 sauce.
Exactly.
That you described.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. We are going to get higher in proof as we go along, and things get a little bit spicier, but they're not going to be like, you're not going to cry. So
cool, amazing. Not that you know of.
You won't. Yeah. Hopefully you won't be tapping out. Yeah, exactly. All right, on to number 2.
Sweet.
This one is the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. This one is 90.4 proof, so just barely more alcohol than the Buffalo Trace.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Flavor profile for this one is vanilla, honey, chocolate, toasted oak, caramel spice, hazelnut, and baked fruit.
That's nice.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this one's much sweeter. I get a lot of that caramel and chocolate.
I was going to say, I get the caramel at big time.
Yeah, for sure. And even some of that, like, as it's like going down and you like swallow a little saliva afterwards, you can taste that baked fruit as well too. So, all right. Second question. We're going to get into your running past and your running journey a little bit.
Cool.
All right. So you are from Weymouth,
Massachusetts.
Yeah. I won't hold that against you. As a Yankees fan.
Yeah, our Red Sox-Yankees rivalry goes deep.
It goes deep. It goes deep. I appreciated the tag in your carousel as you were at the Red Sox game.
Yeah, like holding up the Red Sox
thing as they're sweeping the Yankees. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, like I said, you ran all 4 years track and cross country in high school, and you were named the most valuable rookie as a sophomore. I learned.
Sure. And I was like, what bio did you dig that out of? But hell yeah.
From your high school page, actually. And then, so you went on to run at Boston University, and you set a personal best of 4:19 for the mile there, 4:19.06, 14:57.06 for the 5,000, and 31:33.67 in the 10K. Yeah, very impressive. So what initially got you into running?
Yeah, I think I was like, I always say I was like a pretty anxious kid. Okay. I think there are elements of that in my adult life that you can tell, but I was worse as a child.
Okay.
And I think honestly, like my mom did a really good job of identifying that and like seeing it in me and finding ways to make that work. I think a lot of it was just keeping me busy. So like a lot of it was, I did theater growing up a lot, and I did, lots of different sports and things like that. But I think running was one of those things that was so consistently able to get me out of my head a little bit. And she did a really, really good job seeing that and getting me into that. Classically, still did the soccer thing my freshman year of high school.
Sure.
Didn't make it much further than that. I used to say I was like the best at getting the ball on the team.
Yeah.
And then once I got there, it kind of fell apart. And then the coach was like, hey, there's a sport where you just get to keep going. You don't have to stop at the ball. And it's like, okay, great, I'm going to do that. So I think that was a big part of it, is the initial like kind of predisposition personality-wise for it, and then found out I was decent at it in high school, which was cool. And as someone who loved sports growing up, being able to be like a contributing member, it can, and a part of a team was really, really cool. I have always and will always love cross country. Like that was my bread and butter in college, and really what I was quite good at. And so that was, I've always loved that team element of running. It's such an individual sport. And I think it's how most people approach it in their adult life. Like a lot of adult runners are like, oh, it's an individual thing. It's like something you do alone and sweaty and sad, and like no one should see it. But for me, like cross country represents that kind of, again, bring it up again, that community part of it, like that team part of it that I loved. And continue to. So that got me into it too. It's just like love being on that team.
Yeah. That's one thing for people who get into running in their adult life, that I really feel some sadness for them, because they never got to experience the team aspect of running a cross country or track, right? Like my high school track and cross country, those were like my best friends. Like all my teammates, they were the greatest people, and I've learned a lot from them. And just getting to like hang out with the upperclassmen as a freshman, and on my high school team, I was the only freshman on the cross country team. So they like took me under their wing, and it was very, very cool. And so definitely like people who come in as an adult, they're like, you need to understand that running is a community sport.
Totally, yeah. I think we're seeing that more with like, again, I'm a big believer that community is like a necessary ingredient to like longevity and love and the desire to want to continue to do something. And most of the time people approach running with the desire to do it in the long term, or at least to hit a goal.
Right.
And I think that community piece is like so essential psychologically and in order to make it happen. But then at the same time, there's like this weird cultural poo-pooing of like run clubs being this like new kind of like kitschy thing that people do just to meet people.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's like a necessary ingredient of wanting to do something. I think that's where adults are finding their community in running club in running and is in those clubs.
Sure.
I love the events that are put on that are a little bit more team oriented. I think there's more and more of those popping up as run club culture kind of becomes more popular. But I think that's a really cool element of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yes, adults are approaching that. There is some like truth in the downsides of it, right? Like there are people who approach run clubs with this like mentality of like, oh, I'm just going to try to date people.
Of course,
and that's kind of gross. And like we just need to get people on the mindset of like, you might meet somebody, but there's a higher probability that they're just there to try to get like community and a workout, and they're not trying to.
Yeah, totally. And there are clubs that do that. Like they're like, go to the singles run club, do what you got to do.
Singles run club, exactly. I'm excited. Like you said, largest running boom since the 70s, and I love seeing it.
No, 100%.
Right. Yeah. The only downside is I can't get into any races that I want to do anymore.
So London's doubling the marathon size, and I still haven't heard of anyone who got in.
Oh yeah. It was like 1.2 million entries into the lottery, and only 7% of those people got into either day, which is crazy. So I don't.
Drawbacks and pluses, I suppose.
But I mean, I guess maybe just run different races. Don't chase the majors.
No, 100%. I think there's a lot to be said around non-major races. I think, in my opinion.
No, for sure. That being said, I'm still gonna.
I was like, you're training for Sydney. I'm training for Chicago. So it's a little. We're both like, oh, okay, maybe not this season, but at some point.
I'll find a different race next season. Okay, so one thing I found fascinating about you, because all I know from you in the time I've known you is that you're fast as fuck. But you were a walk-on.
At
BU.
Yeah.
How did how did that like, first what motivated you to like
totally
walk on, and then like how did that impact you mentally as being able to earn a scholarship later?
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm very proud of it. Like and so I appreciate you asking. I think that there's like, it's a multi-parted question, but like the thing that got me excited to be able to do it is that I have just an innate, immense love for the sport. I think it was something I knew I wanted to do for a long time. I was like, it affected my college choice probably more than it should have. I think BU specifically, I always say I wasn't a walk-on. I was whatever below that is. I was a beg-on. I literally like harassed my coach. Like I like showed up to the track a few times, just being like, "Hey, I'm going to be at BU next year, and I'd love to be on the team." I was very lucky to cross paths with a running legend, Bruce Lehane, who was my coach my freshman and sophomore year at BU before he passed. And he is just like fundamental in shaping my beliefs around the sport and the power that it has. But, kind of saw something at least enough personality wise to keep me on the team, which was cool and give me a spot. And I think I saw an opportunity to contribute, which is a really exciting thing, and an opportunity to challenge myself in a really, really big way to try to contribute, because it was a really good team, and I knew that, and I knew I was walking on as the worst guy by a lot. And so it was like, okay, cool. How can I weasel my way into contributing? And that was like, he was so comfortable, that my coach at the time, Bruce, was so comfortable having that conversation around like, hey, here's how you can contribute right now. Here's what it's going to take over the next 3 or 4 years for you to contribute eventually. Let's be patient. Let's contribute in the ways that you can now and figure it out as we go. I think that to me is what a great leader, manager, mentor does, is like meets you where you're at, but then also has an understanding of like, and here's my vision for you later on, right? And I'm going to help you get there. So he was really fundamental in that. And, I started out just being like a good teammate and like getting my ass kicked every single, like literally every single day. Like you're going to go out and you're going to get your ass kicked. And, you have to be the person who shows up to practice the most excited to be there every time. And if you can show up to practice excited to get your ass kicked, no one else has an excuse to, not want to be there. And so I think that was a cool learning lesson for me then. I then kind of found my niche. I got really good at cross country. I got, pretty good at the steeplechase. And so I kind of found those ways to contribute. I always say I'm like old Ford Bronco kind of runner, right? Like there were guys who could run 13-minute 5Ks on the track, and they were the like Mustangs of the track world, but in muddy, shitty, crappy conditions, I could beat them, I kind of had that mindset.
That's cool.
So that was kind of like my collegiate running mindset. But yeah, no, I think I was really, really motivated by the opportunity to be able to contribute to a team that I knew had given me a lot in letting me be there. And then also just like was such a cool community. And, half my team was at my wedding this last couple of weeks. And, I'm still super, super close with them.
Very cool.
Officiated weddings of 2 teammates. Like it's like clearly a special group of people. So that was kind of the story of college. But cool. Definitely was a up and down through injury trajectory to getting a lot better in college, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. I feel like the volume of miles, it increases exponentially from high school to college, and if your body is, it's a recipe for injury, honestly. And if you're not taking care of yourself well, and most college freshmen aren't.
No, 100%. And that's what it was like. It's so funny, like looking back at how I treated myself my freshman year versus my senior year is so different. Like really like only thing that probably changed, obviously you adapt and you get used to the mileage and training and things like that. But like, it's crazy how much it is lifestyle. Like I talk to my athletes at AU all the time about being like, really the most important thing is lifestyle. Like you can go out and run 100 miles a week, but if you're boozing on the weekends and you're not sleeping, like it doesn't really do anything for you, and you're going to get hurt. But if you can kind of treat yourself well and effectively, then doesn't mean you have to be like, I think there's this like new like militant culture where you have to be like optimized and perfect, and I don't agree with that either, but you do have to treat yourself reasonably well if you want output. So that's kind of how it works.
And what like there is that there's definitely like too much rigidity and there's not enough. You got to find that balance in the middle. We're recording today on the day that the mile world record was broken.
Watched it.
I have to wonder, like, because he called it months ago that he was going to do it. What his regimen, how close to that rigidity is he, do you think, compared to
totally.
Like, what does it take to break a world record?
Right. No, that's such a good question. Like, I feel like it's like balance in the imbalance, right? Like, I'm sure, like, Josh Kerr is not living a balanced lifestyle. Like he is living something that is innately unbalanced in the pursuit for something to be able to go out and find, right? And see what he is capable of and do that at the highest level. I don't know if that is sustainable for everyone or should be everyone's goal, right? Like not everyone is trying to break a world record. So it's an understanding of, for him, right? Like what is he willing to sacrifice in that moment for that long term?
Sure.
And then, is that balance appropriate? And then, okay, how do you strike that balance? Well, he's eat, sleeping, and breathing running, right? Like he has to be. I'm sure there's psychological anchors that allow him to feel like it's not do or die, right? Like he's got family and teammates and people around him that love him and support him, even if he doesn't break the world record. And that helps him not put undue pressure on himself and spiral, etc. But at the same time, like that's where you do optimize, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to run 342, you got to have a pretty good sense of where you're at.
Absolutely.
And the cool thing is, I think the reason he's able to call his shot so early, I mean, the guy was talking 6 months ago about where he's at, is because we've just come so far in our ability to metric and track and data that like he knows now. He's my age, I think. I think he maybe is 29, 30.
Yeah.
He knows now after a 10-year professional running or collegiate professional running career about where his indicators are and like about like, okay, if I'm doing this workout here and I have a sense of where I'm at, in 3 months, I'm going to be dangerous, right? Like I have a pretty good sense of where I'm at for that. So I'm going to spend the next 3 months dictated on the goal to be able to do this long term. And I mean, he ran a 1200 6 days ago. That was like, the guy's going to break it. I mean, he ran 2:42 in a time trial 1200. It's like,
that's crazy.
He's going to break the world record.
Yeah.
Obviously. He's just tracking those metrics. And pros at that level are so good at being able to be like, all right, I've got this big, like a one big goal, like an OBG, right? Is kind of like what I call them.
Yeah.
What's the web that I need to design to be able to kind of get myself to that one big goal?
Sure.
And it becomes crazy and expansive and super, super long at that level because a lot of things have to go in place. Yeah. But they're so good at like, not even just optimizing one or two particular things, but almost like diffusing their network of things that they need to get done in order to make that happen, right? And so he's got 40 things he does in a day to make him move toward that direction, and a group of people around him that are kind of helping him guide to that.
No, absolutely.
It's pretty cool.
That's so cool and interesting too to like think about it like that. Like you have to, you basically have to. Like there's just no way else to get yourself to that level. So.
No, 100%. And like again, I think at that level, the pursuit and the excitement is I'm doing something no one else has ever done before. So I'm willing to sacrifice maybe the social going out on the weekends on Fridays, like for this, like that's okay for a little bit. And I think that's a cool pursuit.
Yeah, totally. Very cool. All right, man. 2 down. On to the third.
Amazing.
Yep. This one in the middle here is called Town Branch, and it's a maple barrel stout. It's 94 proof, so another step up.
Cheers.
Yeah. The flavor profile for this one, maple, cocoa, brown sugar, and cherry.
Oh, you really get the maple. Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Yeah, you get some maple on the front end, and then for me, I get the cherry on the back end. It's not a very prominent flavor, and it's not like a maraschino cherry, right? Like maraschino cherry is a fake cherry.
Right.
This to me is like, as you know, as a bartender, you get those like good bourbon old-fashioned cherries.
Yeah, the Luxardos.
Exactly. Those ones. Yeah. That's what I get with this one.
It's funny. I feel like I'm thinking about these all as like, how would they what drink would they go well in? And then I'm like, I know that's not what you're supposed to be thinking because you're supposed to be drinking them straight because it's good bourbon.
Yeah. No, but I mean, also like, if you have a recommendation, I think one of my guests recently was like, this would be good in a Manhattan, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll have to try that in a Manhattan.
Yeah, no, I think this would be that's an old fashioned for sure.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned this in your intro, but you also lived in Sydney, Australia, and trained with the Sydney University Athletics Club.
Yeah.
You were working at the Australian Catholic University?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right. And you trained alongside future Olympian and silver medalist Jessica Hull.
Yep, who won the 3,000 at the Diamond League today.
Oh,
also.
did she?
Yep, 100%.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
very
still
cool.
up.
Nice. So what was it like training with the Aussies, first off?
Cool. Different. Different.
Okay.
I was lucky to train with a lot of Aussies in college, so I had a couple of Aussie teammates that I kind of learned and made fun of the culture for a couple years there before they adopted me into theirs, which was awesome.
Nice.
So I had a sense of it, but the Aussies are a very laid back group. I think they have an understanding of like balance in a way that we as Americans do not.
Absolutely.
Particularly when it comes to work. And I think by some extension, like hobbies that are type 2 fun, like running is.
Yeah.
So they do a good job with that. You know, it really feels like a bit of a Wild West compared to here.
Okay.
Everything here is so structured. Like everything here is so like you compete with you know, everyone does a high school sport. If you're good enough at that, not a large, I shouldn't say that at all. A small percentage participates in college, but that is the next track, right? Like you go and you run or you play your sport for a college, and then from there on you kind of go from there. The system in Australia is so different. It's like so club based. It's so diffuse. That not a lot of even high schools have team sports all the time. A lot of times it is, maybe some of the private schools do, but a lot of the times, like if you want to start running, you have to join a club and then kind of like run with that club. And even at the collegiate level, the University of Sydney had a team, but it wasn't like here where it was like scholarshiped and rostered and we compete against other universities. Like it had really different, there's no NCAA, right? Like there's no kind of formalized governing body there. So it was just a little bit more diffuse. And so it was cool to be able to, as a post-collegiate athlete, train with some of these guys and, you know, be able to go to a training camp and train with, you know, like younger kind of high school guys who are just coming through the system, or, you know, I became Jess's pace guy for a little while, which was really cool.
Very cool.
And learn a little bit from her and, you know, kind of what her journey through the NCAA and now kind of doing her own thing. And it was an interesting time for her, kind of just starting out her pro career. So yeah, it was a cool group of people. I think I had expectations that were met by a very friendly, welcoming group of individuals. And running was a kind of like a small part of my time there. Like I think a lot of it was more just wanting to live in a new place. I'd only lived in Boston my entire life, and I was like, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out big, right? And you know, trying to experience something new, and did a lot of like contract working. I worked on a farm for a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You worked on a farm. First off, how did that even come about?
So I think I had one of the luckiest, like international kind of like we were on a working holiday visa. Emily and I, when we went out there, and so really the only limitations of that are you can't work for more than 6 months at a place, and then after a year you have to have done a little bit of farm work in order to stay longer. And so what we ended up doing is we were working contract jobs in Sydney, pay rent, and do that kind of stuff. Doing a little training, doing a little coaching, kind of experiencing it. And then COVID hit. And we both immediately got fired from our contract jobs because they were like, we can't support this anymore, and we gotta go. So we were like, okay, so we're in here, we have no income, we're paying all this money in rent, we gotta figure something out. So we either need to go home or we gotta figure something out. So we literally found like a Craigslist ad that was like, looking for a couple, we just bought a farm, we need a guy to come fix some fences and take care of the sheep. And we have 3 kids, we need, you know, the you know, maybe a little sexist, but we need the woman to come and take care of the kids. And help us out as we kind of start this farm up. And we were like, okay, we had like a FaceTime interview with these 2 lovely people. We're like, yep, come on out, we'll give you room and board. And so we like drove 5 hours south and lived on this farm for like 5 months. And it was amazing.
Okay, so that's crazy, but it's amazing. And did that, working on a farm, right, it requires a lot of discipline, I would say. Does that teach you anything in running? Do you find any kind of correlation or parallel there in how you approach running as the sport while working on a farm?
Interesting. It's funny, you use the word discipline. I feel like I was like literally a surf bum while I was out there. So discipline is not the way I would describe myself at that time. Like,
I guess I should say.
I know what you mean. I think that like you grow up in the American system, right? Very like tracked, like right, you know what I mean? And I think that the Australian experience in general, and then especially the farm experience, was a cool lesson for me around like, you can kind of do things however you want to do them in a cool way. Like I was a financial accounting major in college and was like ready to do the big 4 financial accounting firms and do all that kind of stuff with my life. And I think that experience in particular was like, hey, no one really cares if you just do what you want to do. Like you want to work on a farm and take care of some animals for 5 months and like surf on the afternoons and like you can do that. And I think the way that then correlates to running is similar to that, where I think a lot of people think there's a lot of shoulds and have tos in the sport, right? Like there's a lot of people who are like, I should be running this mileage, or I should be training for at least 2 marathons a year, right? And I think all that is bullshit. Like I think you should go about the sport. It is a hobby. It is what you want to do. You should go about it in any way that you want. You know, obviously in life there are obligations. Like in a hobby that you're doing for fun, there are none. Like you can just do what you want.
Exactly.
And I think that experience kind of helped formulate a little bit of that philosophy just in general.
No, it's good. I like that. I like it very much. Okay, so as you know, I'm training for Sydney, gonna go out there at the end of next month. People keep asking me, what is my biggest fear about the animals in Australia? And I'm like, first off, Sydney is a major metropolitan city.
You're good.
I'm good.
But if you're a bats.
No,
there are a lot of bats.
There are a lot of bats, For you, though, living on a farm, outside of that, did you ever encounter anything crazy like that?
Oh, yeah. It was funny because my mom said the same thing a lot when I was moving to Australia. Oh, careful of the spiders, careful of the snakes. I was like, shut up, Mom. There were some scary spiders and snakes on the farm.
I bet.
We saw a couple of like would kill you immediately spiders. There were a few snakes that were sketchy. We didn't see a lot of them. We had one get up one of our sheep at one point when we were there, which was a bummer. But for the most part, like, you know, you don't bother them, they don't bother you. But on the farm, it's hard to do that. Like you're picking up a log and you're like, the deadliest spider I've ever seen. Put that back so I can go kill it. It's funny, the ones that people get the most freaked out by are actually harmless. They're the big ones, like the really big ones everyone always talks about.
The ones that look like the alien face suckers.
100%. Completely harmless. But we encountered those all the time. Like you would literally go to the bathroom to pee in the middle of the night and there would be one like on the side of the wall.
That's insane.
And they move like lightning, but they're completely harmless. Like they couldn't hurt you. But they are harsh to encounter in the middle of the night, like as big as a dinner plate. But for the most part, it was good. We had a couple of close-ish encounters with spiders, but you just kind of go, put that back, and it's fine.
That's crazy. Growing up in Arizona, it was always like scorpions and rattlesnakes. That was our big thing. But never really had that kind of crazy encounter. Like a couple of my friends, they got stung by a scorpion, but most of them, the scorpions are adults, so they don't like give you all their venom at once, and so you're fine. So, but you definitely like check your shoes before you put them on, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you cross the dot the I's, you're fine.
Exactly. I will say I have almost been bitten by a rattlesnake running through some trails once.
Really?
My brother and I were out in desert trail, single track, so running back. I'm leading, he's behind me. We're just running along, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear a rattle so loud right next to me, and just out of instinct, I jump and like run forward, like sprint. My brother behind me, he stops in his tracks. He said he saw the snake strike out, and if I had not jumped, it probably would have hit me in the ankle.
That's so sketchy.
Yeah, that was the craziest experience I had, but thankfully that was it.
I've never had quite that close of an encounter, so.
It was scary. Like my adrenaline was through the roof after that. And like the rest of the run was great because I was feeling. But I'm not worried about Sydney.
You'll be okay. In the city, like I've never seen anything. There's a lot of bats. There's this like huge, like I don't know what their term for a big group of bats is. Family of bats that live in Centennial Park in the center of the city, and at sunset they all come out and like go crazy. So they're a sight.
I would really love to see a fox bat. I don't know if you've ever seen
the big ones.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll see them. Okay, they're everywhere.
Okay,
they're huge. Yeah, I think it's the big ones.
They're like this big. Yeah,
that's the big. They're big ones.
Wrapped. Yeah, and they have a face that looks like a fox. Yeah. So, I would love to see one of those.
I think you'll get your rash.
Well, I was in Sydney 20 years ago, and I never got to see a bat. So,
damn.
But yeah, I did get to. I went to the Steve Irwin Zoo. Also, I went to in Brisbane, and got to go see the kangaroos and the crocodiles and the capybaras and all that. So yeah, I'm excited to go back.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Yeah. It's a great race. And I did it pre-World Major certification, so the course has changed a little bit, but I've heard good things about the change.
Yeah, I'm excited. Although I'm not loving the fact that it's the hilliest major, but
is it?
Yeah,
the new one. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Oh, cool. Well.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of hill repeats, a lot of up and down all over. I mean, people don't realize DC is so friggin' hilly.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to train for a hilly race, but
totally.
Still don't love a hilly race.
Yeah. Slows you down a bit.
Yeah. All right, man. 3 down.
Cool.
Do you have a favorite so far?
I like this one so far just for straight drinking.
Okay.
I think if I was gonna buy a bottle of bourbon to use, it would probably be this one. Like this one feels a little bit more like it can be used for straight drinking. You could throw it in a couple of really good cocktails that would go really well.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, cool. Well, we're getting on to number 4. And this one is the Colonel E.H. Taylor Small Batch Bottled in Bond. And it is 100 proof. So this is the spicy guy.
Okay, sweet.
So just be prepared.
Cheers.
Cheers. The flavor profile is caramel corn, butterscotch, oak, licorice, cherry, orange, and spices.
Oh yeah, that one hits you going down the back, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's a sinus clearer.
Yep, absolutely.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
But that's a bourbon drinker's bourbon.
Exactly. The very first time I had E.H. Taylor, this was early on in my bourbon legend, I guess. This one I was like, took a sip like it was one of these guys, and it was like, oh God! I was like, that'll put hair on your chest.
Yeah, it'll wake you up.
Absolutely. So, but no, I like it, and now 100 proof is still pretty low for a bourbon. So, yeah. Okay. Fourth question. What am I talking about? Second question. Fourth question. All right. So you're not just a runner. You also have another talent.
Okay.
And that's juggling.
Oh boy. It had to come up. It has to come up.
It always has to come up. Yeah. So going back to your college, your time in college, you put those running and juggling together.
Yes.
And you set a couple records for running while jogging or juggling or joggling as it's called.
Colloquially.
4:43.2 for the mile while juggling, and 2:12 for the 800 meter. Both of those times would qualify you for the Guinness Book of World Records. So first off, how does it feel to have been in the Guinness Book of World Records?
So it was so fun. It was one of those things that is it will slightly haunt me for the rest of my life because it was something I did on a whim with some friends, on the weekend, because I was like, I know I can run while juggling. I'm pretty good at running at this point, so I could probably get this record because I had found out what it was. And it went dummy viral. The mile went dumb. It was on Sports Illustrated and Associated Press picked it up at one point. I was on Barstool. It went stupid viral. And so now it is my entire internet presence.
It is.
And so
I put your name into Google for this. And that's the first thing that comes up.
What the fuck? It's 3 pages deep of just stuff about my mile record, which at this point was now 8 years ago.
Yes.
But it was fun. It's a weird collection of skills. I am pretty good at juggling. I was also at the time quite good at running. And so it was one of those things where I could run a 4:43 mile pretty comfortably. And so I was like, why not do it while juggling? And got it ratified and set. It was broken very quickly after by someone else. So I never actually got to go in the hard copy book, which was such a bummer.
That's right. But you got the certificate.
I got the thing.
They sent you the thing.
Yeah, I got the thing.
Do you have it prominently displayed anywhere in your place?
I can't say prominently, but I have it somewhere. And I have the internet presence, which is, if anything, more lasting.
That is absolutely.
have like every recruit's dad who's ever spoken to me being like, "You're the juggling guy, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's me."
That's me. Okay. Well, so for the mile, you attempted it 3 times, and that's because there were some drops along the way. One time, a lawnmower got in your way.
Yes.
I saw. There's a mini documentary on YouTube. You still find it.
Check it out.
There's a clip of you.
Link below.
Link below.
Yeah.
There's the clip of you as the mower like crosses your path, and you're clearly so frustrated because you must have been on pace, and you just like slam the ball into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, how frustrating is that?
Yeah, I think I was probably madder than I should have been, but I was pretty mad.
Yeah, I mean, because
and that was
a stupid thing to happen.
8 months. That video was like 8 months prior to the actual breaking of it.
Yeah.
And so like I think I was like 1,200 meters in. I was like quite far into the race, and I just got cut off by this. It was, but also like I'm not renting the facility out. You know what I mean? This is just us like loose on our home track while they're like setting up for the lacrosse game, and it's like we're not. Right, this isn't a harsh ordeal.
Yeah.
So they were just doing their job. You can't get too upset.
Okay, so you already said the mile was quickly broken. The 800 has already been broken also. Would you attempt ever to try to do it again?
I don't feel the need to. I have been, like, if it was for a good reason, I think I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, if it was like a fun, if it's gonna add to the bread, no. If it's gonna add to the bread, I will. If it would be a fun event for somebody that would make them really happy, I would do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure, I would. I will say 440 miles aren't what they used to be. Like, I don't know if I can run that quite as easily as I did in college. It's quite quick.
Sure.
You have to be pretty comfortable to stay juggling. And at that time, that was, I could run that for 5K, 10K, it was an easier quote unquote pace for me than maybe it is now as I'm running more like marathon distances.
Yeah.
And I'm not good enough of a juggler to do like a half race, right? Like I'm gonna drop too much.
Yeah.
So I think the odds are low, but if I was motivated
enough,
I
if
could
somebody
make it
came
happen.
to you with
I'm not retired, by any means. Yeah.
But like maybe better your mile 2027.
Again, adding to the bread.
Better your joggling mile.
Right. But then I also am a very aware, so yes, right? That would be fun.
Yeah.
It also would be as the kids would use this phrase. I believe they use the term mogging.
Yeah.
It would be a little bit of that. I think there's something about going to a public event where people are trying to run their best mile ever and doing it while juggling faster than most of them. That is a little all right, buddy.
All right, we get it.
All right, jackass. We get it. You're good at this. That I don't know if I need to bring that to a community running event.
Fair.
I think most people would be like, that's cool, but also fuck you.
Yes. Yeah. No, I can see how that would definitely come off.
Yeah.
A little odd, a little rough. So yeah, maybe let's not do it at Better Mile.
I think it's a beautiful thing in the past.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's great. I mean, I saw the video, and first off, the mini doc is
hilarious.
Really well done.
It's actually OG Sidious Mag video. So that's also I'm really proud of.
Nice.
Is Sidious Mag is now this
huge thing.
Beacon of track and field.
Yeah.
And in their very, very early days, they were doing short form content on me.
Yeah.
On the side of the river at Austin.
Absolutely.
So funny.
Yeah. Going back to the mile world record today, I saw all of that on Sidious Mag's Instagram. That was all I saw. So for you to be an OG there,
I got them off the ground.
You got them off the ground. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And maybe a little bit of Barstool Sports Boston.
That's right. Yeah. I lifted them too. You're welcome, Dave Portnoy. Oh,
that's hilarious. No, I mean, I can juggle a little bit, but I'm definitely nowhere near that kind of...
We'll get you. We'll do some lessons. It's easier than you think it is. Once you're up at speed, just physics takes over. You're just juggling in place.
Sure. Yeah. Were you always just balls, or do you do bowling pins?
I can.
Swords.
I can. I've never juggled swords before, but I can do the bowling pins.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I was a weird kid. Weird kids need to find outlets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I didn't consider myself to be a weird kid, but maybe my parents thought I was because they bought me a book with how to learn how to juggle, and gave me beanbag balls and
kept you occupied.
Yeah, it did. It really did. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little weirder than I thought I was. Oh gosh. Or my parents definitely thought so.
Yeah, it's like don't ask that. They'll be like, yeah, you were.
All right, man. Well, we are now down to our last bourbon, and this guy is my current favorite bourbon.
Cool.
Yeah, this is.
I was wondering if you were gonna pick a.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
Cool.
This guy is my favorite. This is Blanton's Small Batch.
Cool.
It is 93 proof, so we're coming back down.
Cool.
So I think you'll enjoy this one, especially coming down from the 100 proof. So, but.
Our final cheers.
Final cheers. Thank you again for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Glad that you could make it. The flavor profile for this one is vanilla, citrus, butterscotch, honey, caramel, nutmeg, and baking spices.
Oh, it's so much smoother.
Right?
Oh, it's so nice.
It's so smooth. It's so smooth. Yeah. No, I love this one. It goes down nicely.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so sweet. The harshness is like barely there.
Yeah.
If at all. I love it.
That's good.
Yeah. Can be hard to get your hands on sometimes though. And
right. Is that part of it? Like, is there like in wine? I feel like there's like rarity is everything, right? Yeah. Like, is that partially a bourbon thing too, or is it because it's?
So it was for a while.
Okay, cool.
And Blanton's. There was a Netflix series for a while where they talked about like the most craziest crimes in America.
Okay.
And Blanton's happened to be one of them, where some employees were just basically taking whole crates home at night and then just like giving them out to their friends, and their friends would resell them. Sure. And blah, 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 and that turned into a big federal investigation, this kind of thing. So then the distillery like locked it down.
Cool.
And so you could only get one bottle if you ever went to the distillery. And even then, they only gave them, like, sold them on certain days, and you never knew which day to get them.
Cool.
So that led to the scarcity, and which drove up the price. And
okay, cool.
Stuff, right?
Cool.
And the legend. Sadly, the bourbon industry is now going through a downturn.
Wow, okay.
And so that kind of has worked in my favor because it's easier to get bottles.
A procure, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been able to get as much of Blanton's as I have wanted to.
Cool.
You can see up here, this whole
you've
shelf.
got your good stockpile.
Yeah, it's right up there. And they have a whole... I've explained this to a few people on the pod before, but so if you see here at the back of the horse, there's a letter N.
Okay.
Each top is a little bit different, and it spells out Blanton's. Each one has a different letter.
Oh, cool.
And it's a whole scene where it's a rider starting from zero, racing and crossing the finish line.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's
sweet.
It's very cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So fun little fact about Blanton's.
Yeah. Sick.
Okay, so last question. We've talked about your wealth of experience and knowledge in running and coaching. So it only makes sense for you to do something with that. And we talked about it in the intro. You have written a book.
Yeah.
It's called This Book Can Make You Love Running, which is a nonfiction workbook designed to make the reader love running. Talk a little bit about the book, why you decided to write it, and the psychological concepts that you use to get people to love the sport of distance running.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm excited about it. I really just got into it because I really love to write. Mm-hmm. I do it as a pastime and something I enjoy. They say write what you know, and that is all I know about. No. No, I just feel like I have such a passion for the sport and a love for the sport, and again, I have a hobby in writing about it, and I had written a bunch of like kind of essays around the idea and some kind of like personal anecdotes around the sport, and I was like, hey, this is kind of starting to take shape and like feel like something, and I got my sports psych degree 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so then I started doing quite a bit of research around, sports and the way that it can psychologically impact people, the way that it can develop skills and strengths and help kind of fortify people from a resilience perspective to life events. And I thought that was just such a cool, justification for participating in the sport, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people talk about like, for someone who spends their, I'm sure you're in a similar boat where it's like, for someone who spends as much time as they do running, you always get the question of like, why are you putting all this time and effort into this thing, right? Like when ultimately you're doing it for amateur reasons, and maybe you get maybe there's some non-amateur things, but for the most part it's an amateur pursuit. And I think there is deep and intricate reasonings to do it behind beyond just the monetary. I think pursuit is really important. I think learning, particularly, I think the book is about. Ultimately, it's obviously a book about running, and it has a lot of anecdotes from my personal experience, and it has a lot of sports psych concepts that kind of help dive into a little bit of like helping you find your own kind of version of what running might look like for you. Right. But ultimately, it's about like, how do you get really good at conquering challenge, right? Like, how do you get good at scaling a challenging mountain? And can you learn? Running, I think, is a great vehicle for learning about yourself and your ability to do that, because it's so scalable, it's so adjustable, and you can go about it in kind of any way that you want, like we've kind of talked about on the already. And one of the things that the book talks about is allowing you to figure out what those things are. And if you can make the sport custom fit that appetite, it can become a really effective tool for becoming someone who's more aware of their strengths and how they set goals and the ways that they go about hard things and the way they accept ease and things like that. And so ultimately, I think running is a really excellent vehicle for learning to go about challenges. And so the book is kind of a representation of that, of like, okay, cool. How do we go about challenges? Like, how psychologically is it effective to be able to go about challenges? And one of the questions you had in that intro was like, what are they, right? Like, what are the skills, right? And I think if you can really effectively get a sense of, really starting it is like, why do you want to do this, right? Like, what are your motivations? Like, you have to want to do something to be able to do it, right? Kind of obvious concept, but like, if you want to climb a mountain, you got to want to climb a mountain, right? And so a lot of it is kind of, how do we approach the sport in a way that is psychologically healthy from a desire standpoint? Are there adaptive and maladaptive, things that are motivating you? And then, when you're participating in that, how are you using your individual strengths and weaknesses to be able to go through that? Are you setting goals effectively? Are you, engaging in communities, right? Which is a huge part of it, right? Are you doing things that are going to allow you to, and I kind of have that phrase in the book, but like, stick around long enough to find success, which I think is like kind of the way that you find success, is just sticking around long enough and wanting to be there. And then ultimately, the goal of the book is to have a lot of opportunity for self-reflection, so that you can kind of be like, okay, cool, here's how I've developed these skills, and then ultimately here's how I can teach myself that this is how I've done that, right? How I can kind of reflect and think about that. So it's a lot of CBT work. It's a lot of kind of things like that. It's a lot of fun.
I first off, wholeheartedly agree with the fact that running is such a great indicator for resilience to hard things, right? Like, you have to develop a mental toughness to run fast, to run far, to run a marathon, and to go through the training to do all of those things, right? Because there are going to be days when you are struggling, and to find that mental toughness, that mental resilience, that dedication, discipline, whatever, to put your shoes on one day when you're like, all I want to do is lay here. And I think I've read recently, I guess not recently, but that when it comes to the workplace, bosses, CEOs, whatever, find that people who are runners are often better employees in terms of resilience when it comes to stressors at work, because they are able to, one, they have the release of running, but also the mental toughness to learn how to navigate through those stressors. And I think that's a good, what you were talking about.
I talk about resilience a lot in the book, right? like I like that is a buzzword that everyone talks about, grit and resilience, right? Like kind of the two phrases people use a lot. I am a really, there's tough guy resilience, right? That I think people think about, like, describing running as like this thing that you have to get through, right? And I don't really vibe with that version of it, right? Like, I think that framing of toughness is not necessarily something that actually allows you to get through challenge. I think it's a good way to make people think that you're
yeah.
able to get through challenge, but I don't always know if that is the most productive tool. I think what running does really, really well is it teaches you about the kind of like, I almost call it like softer resilience, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like it's this idea that like, in what runners are really, really good at doing, and I think that that definition of resilience that I think is really productive is runners can take obstacles and view them as exciting challenges, right? And then use that as motivation to be able to do them, right?
Yeah.
You don't, sometimes you do, and I think that's sometimes the toxic side of running, but like when people talk about their long run on the weekend, it's not always this like, oh, I have to go do this.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I've got this hard thing coming up and I get to go out and I get to go participate in that. And like, that enthusiasm and that motivation to do things because you view them as cool, exciting opportunities is my definition of resilience, right? Like our ability to see things coming up in the distance and go, oh, wow, I'm excited to try to climb that, as opposed to like, oh, fuck, this is a hump I have to get over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas I think that tough guy resilience is a little bit more like, all right, I'm going to go hammer through that. And like, maybe that's a version of that, but I think there's nuance there, which I think running parses through really well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The book is also a bit of, you said I read the description. It's a workbook. Right?
Yeah.
So are you like also asking questions that people are like take time to sit down and write answers to?
Yeah. So like basically the structure of each chapter is a little anecdote just about my experience and kind of like my journey with that particular subject, say grit or strengths or weaknesses or something like that, motivations. And then some research around that topic of like ways that it's been utilized and researched and how that, how we can learn to love something effectively, how we can learn to be more effectively motivated, how we can become more resilient, things like that. And then the end of each chapter is kind of an opportunity to go, as the reader, go and write down some questions to help you better explore that area for yourself. Cool. Ultimately, the goal is if you work all the way through it, you have a really good understanding of how you want to go about the sport.
Nice.
Based on what your strengths are, why you're actually motivated, what time commitment that you have, right? Like my goal with writing the book was, if you're going to run a marathon, pick this book up first and go through it instead of printing out a 16-week plan, right? Because at the end of the book, you're going to finish the 120 pages and be like, wow, I have a really good idea about how I want to go about this. And if I need to do some research to figure out how exactly I should, sure.
Yeah.
At the end of a plan, you're just going to follow something that you don't know why you're doing.
Right.
And so ideally, it helps you think more critically about the challenge that you're undergoing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the activities are fun.
Nice.
And again, they're researched around those particular subjects and helping to reflect on them.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have any promotional events coming up to kind of talk about the book more?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I'm going to be just a kind of couple in the next couple of weeks. I'll bring the book around, come out to NETC. I'm going to have it available at least the first week in August. We'll be bringing it around for them.
Okay.
I have an official book launch date on August 8th.
Nice.
And that's going to be at the Lululemon in Georgetown at 8 a.m. We're going to do a little run, and then we're going to follow it up with just a little talk back, and there'll be some giveaways and book giveaways, apparel giveaways, we'll have some bagels and coffee, and we'll just have some chance to chat as a community about running.
Okay. Yeah. And is there any other place that people can pick up the book? Is it online or whatever?
Yep. Yeah, you can buy it. I've got like kind of links on my Instagram bio, but you can buy it and search this book can make you love running. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, you can find it on my personal Instagram bio.
Awesome, dude. I can't wait to go through it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah, it's cool. It was a very fun project. I'm very excited to put it out there and see what people think of it.
Yeah, well, congrats on getting it done. Like, it's a big thing to have a book published. So, like, congrats on that. That's
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of your Instagram, where can people follow you to learn more about your running, about your book, and everything else that is Zach Prescott? Yeah,
I'm Z-Prescott on Instagram.
Okay.
I have a coaching site, Coach Prescott, if you're interested in following that. I do some online coaching and obviously talk about running quite a bit on that.
Yeah.
And those are really the best places. I should get a website.
Yeah, right?
I haven't done that. At some point I will. You can send me an email. I don't know, ZacharyPrescott20@gmail.com. But Instagram's a great way to just communicate, just to connect. But Eventually, I'll get an email, website if I can find a good designer out there. Not really my thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. We have a pretty few good designers at Northeast Track Club.
We'll connect. We'll connect
you. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, Zach, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you being here.
This was so cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And do you have a favorite out of all the 5?
Not to I feel like this is such a teacher's pet answer, but it was your favorite as well. Yeah. It's so good. I didn't, when people call bourbon smooth, I didn't really get that, but that actually has especially going from these to that, you're like, oh, that's what that smoothness thing means. It's just
absolutely.
Doesn't kill any flavor, but it's just a little bit more palatable.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool. No, absolutely. Cool. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you on the track on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
And for everybody at home, thank you so much for tuning in today. So appreciative of you listening. Please give a like and a follow. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music as well. If you want to watch the full video, we're also on YouTube, After Run Bourbon Club, on all platforms. And we're also on Instagram, After Run Bourbon Club as well. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.